all, hope you all are doing good. So today, day 23, the Grinch strikes again. Tomorrow is the last lap to complete our streak, though we are like way ahead. After that, like we have crossed the time limit, but we are learning, so it's not an issue for us. But after this and tomorrow's lab, that is the last lab, we are going to have our final summary of all the things that we have learned so far, which is going to be our 25th day of the streak, the final day of the streak. And followed by that, we had some fundamentals missing at some basic points throughout the playlist, which was about networking, IP address, networking models, and various other concepts. So these concepts are good for cyber security, bug hunting, and gate, and various such things. So we'll have a playlist for that. And one more thing is CVE, which is like one of the crucial factor or component, I can say, of cyber security. So we'll have something on that as well, a playlist on that. I'm working on that. So for today, let's get started. And make sure that you are connected to this via start attack box or OpenVPN. I am connected with OpenVPN, and before starting, let me just deploy it because I don't know why. As the days are getting past, it is taking much more time to get connected. Maybe because it is a Windows machine or something else. But let's get started, and we'll wait for 5 minutes for this to continue. And meanwhile, we can go through the description. The Grinch strikes again. The mayhem at Best Festival Company continues. The McEager receives numerous emails and phone calls about a possible ransomware attack. So you might be able to correlate with the Bitcoin ransomware that we have seen in some years back. I think 2 years back. Okay, so affecting all the endpoints in the network, McEager knows that the endpoint which are infected with the malware don't have any backups copies, but luckily on his workstation he has backup enabled. Task: investigate the malware and restore the files to the original set. So that's our task, and watch Darkstar video on solving this task. You can use AttackBox or Remenia to connect to the remote machine. So we are going to use Remenia. If by default we are not getting in Kali Linux, you can simply sudo apt-get install Remenia. That's it. Okay, so to get full experience simulated ransomware, there are some settings you need to do, and that's we have to go to preferences, and then we have to change to the quality settings, and then simply connect with the remote FX32. Accept the certificate when prompted. You should be logged into the remote system now. So let's do that first. Let me open Remenia and cancel. So first we'll go to our preferences, and then we have to go to the RDP, and in that the quality settings is poor fastest and the wallpaper is selected, and we are good. Close. Now we have to simply give the IP address, but before that the color depth we want is like as per the lab oh man, one second. Remote FX32. Okay, so let's get back this, and we have to use client resolution, and this is remote FX32, and the server name. Okay, so server name is nothing but our IP address, so copied and then paste. Now username and password. So administrator is our username and snowflakes is our password. So let's copy this as well, and we are good. So just connect. We don't want to save this. Connecting to this, and I think the connection will be lost because yet it's not 5 to 10 minutes done already, so we have to wait for some time. Let's just wait. Okay, this is not required, or let's see what is the status. It's still connecting. Yeah, lost connection. So wait for 5 minutes and then try to connect. So for now, let's minimize this and go to our next content. Ransomware is a real threat that enterprise defenders and casual computers users needs to defend and prepare against. According to Wikipedia, ransomware is a type of malware that threatens to publish the victim's data or perpetually block access to it. It can be frightening experience to log into machine only to realize that malware has encrypted all your documents. Numerous security products can be implemented in security stack to catch this type of malware. If ransomware infects the endpoints, depending on the actual malware, there might be a decryptor made available. It's just like for every virus we have an antivirus. For every such malware we'll have a decryptor. If not, then it is a ransomware. If not, then you must rely on backups in order to restore. Yes. Volume shadow copy service. VSS coordinates the action that are required to create a consistent shadow copy. Now we have seen previously shadow is nothing but a backup, okay, also known as a snapshot or point in time copy of the data that is to be backed up. Official definition. Oh, okay. Malware writers know of this window features and writes code in the malware to look for this file and deletes. Okay, it's like double checking that the end user cannot get back to its normal state. Doing so make it impossible to recover a ransomware attack unless you have an offline or offsite backup. Not all malware deletes the VSS. Before diving into VSS, let's talk briefly regarding the task scheduler. Okay, so this is like, yeah, the task scheduler enables you to automatically perform routine tasks on chosen computer. This does by monitoring whatever criteria and then triggers the action. Malware writers might have the malware create scheduled task in order to malware to run at a specific desired daytime or trigger. The task scheduler utility has been conveniently been placed in the taskbar for you. Okay, maybe that we can see once we are connected to the VRDB. To view the scheduled task, click on the task schedule. You can see two scheduled tasks of interest, one with a weird name and the other related to VSS, that is backup. Click on any of the scheduled tasks to populate. At this point you should realize, okay, we'll stop here, we'll connect again. Let me just scroll to top, and we just need this username and password. So let's get back and let's try to connect again. So if I click on this, don't click on RDB, click on the top plus button, then only we are going to get all these options. So let's copy this IP address and paste. Then we have administrator and that is our username. Oh, control Z is not working. Fine. And then we have password snowflakes, copy, paste, but don't forget use client resolution, and this is to be remote fx and connect. Okay, yes, I accept the certificate, and I think this is the first one that was not working fine. So let's cross this. Now it is getting connected. So you see, we just need to wait for some time. Okay, we'll wait for this. And what all things, okay, I don't need this, let me close and scroll down. Okay, so we have now seen something about VSS, something about task scheduler. Now we have to, like, all those things are provided to us in the taskbar as per the description. Now the command to interact with VSS is VSS admin. Running the command alone will display brief information on how to run the utility. With the additional commands, two commands of particular interest are list volume, list shadows. So if you run VSS admin list volumes, you will see the C drive has differently named ID. There must be another volume on the endpoint. You can use disk management to check into the okay, disk management is a system utility in Windows that enables you to perform, okay, my face is coming in between, I think. Let me just get this to the top. Yeah, I hope now you will be able to read the bottom content. So disk manager is a system utility in Windows that enables you to perform advanced storage tasks. As you can see, there is another volume, but you are unable to view it in Windows Explorer. Right click on the transaction prop to view its properties. Okay, we'll try to see all these letters uh, in the practical lab. So let's scroll back to the first task. So decrypt the fake Bitcoin address with ransomware note. What is the plain text value? So there should be some note on the remote. Okay, what happened to this? I'll pause here, I'll wait for this to load, and then we will continue with the task. Okay, so now the machine is loaded and I can see task scheduler, disk management, command prompt and PowerShell. And if I can see, there is a ransom note as well. So let me just double click on that, and again I think it is going to take some time. So what we have to do is we have to decrypt the Bitcoin address that is present in the ransom note. So this is a note and I have clicked on it. Maybe it is taking some time. Okay, so we are seeing something. You are calmly looking at your documents. I encrypted all the workstation at Best Festival Company just now, including your Makiger. Send me a lots of money to my Bitcoin address. Oh, okay, so there are some important files in my documents which they have encrypted or something. Now until and unless we pay something to this Bitcoin address, they are not going to give us something. So we can see there is equal to. So this is something called padding or stuffing. So it must be base 64. We have to decrypt this, and that's going to be our solution of the first task. So before that, we have to check what are the files I have in my document. So let me just open this as well, file explorer. Again, it's going to take time. So anyway, this is going to take some time, so we will minimize it and let's go to our the browser and decrypt base 64. Okay, base 64, and if we try to paste here the value decode, now let's scroll down, we can see there is some value, no more best festival company. Oh, okay, that's not a good message. Okay, and that's definitely not a Bitcoin address. Okay, at times ransomware changes the file extension of the encrypted files. What is the file extension for each encrypted file? So we have just read in the note that uh, uh, this encryption is done in the documents folder. So we have to wait for the document. Oh, okay, it is loaded. Oh, there's too many loaded. So we have to go into the documents folder and see what is the extension or what is the wrong with. Oh, okay, let's read the task. What is the file extension? Okay, yeah. So now it is open after a long wait. Open the documents. Now in this documents we see some database, stocking, ransom note, all is fine. But there is something called hidden file. So we'll simply go to view. Like we can go to PowerShell and we can say get child item hidden, recurse silent action error. All those things we can do as we have seen in the previous lab. But for now we don't. We cannot expect to run those many commands because this is like very slow. So we'll stick to this kind of shortcuts, and though we don't need PowerShell for the small level the stuff which we have direct options available. So I have check marked the hidden items as well and it's loading. Now after seeing this hidden items, I see a file or folder called confidential. So let's go inside that. So basically the every file in this is encrypted, but for the ransom.txt I see there is no encryption because they want us to read it. So that is not encrypted, but I hope the others are encrypted. That's what the question. What is the extension? So we have opened the confidential folder and let's see. Okay, there is master password.txt and which is converted to some other which is called a Grinch file. So this is the extension that is with which it is encrypted. So dot Grinch, and there we go. Now what is the name of the suspicious scheduled task? So for opening the scheduled task, first we have to hold on, we have to go to our this and we have to open the scheduler, the task scheduler. So we'll again, we don't need this anymore I guess. So I'll close the documents and I'll close the note and we'll wait for the task scheduler to open. Let's try to give as less load as possible and we'll wait for the task scheduler to load. Okay, so now in the task scheduler local we see something called task scheduled library. So let's go into that. It's like taking too much time, but fine. So let's go to scheduled library and okay, now in that Microsoft, okay, something is there, but we'll wait for the scheduled library to open. Let's stick to this. It's loading, fine. We'll wait for some time. Okay, so I can see there are multiple things that are scheduled. One is something related to EC2 at system startup and Google updates, Google update, then OPID SF. Okay, something gibberish value. Then we have shadow copy. Shadow copy, as we have seen, it's for backup. So we can see that this is something running as of now because it is such that the whenever we log in it should start. Okay, so we'll just go inside that. Okay, and let's wait for it to load. Meanwhile, what is the ask? What is the name of the suspicious scheduled task? Okay, so what is the name? It's OPID SF SDF. OPID SF SDF. Okay, OPID SF, some different value SDF, and submit. Now inspect the properties of the scheduled task. What is the location of this executable that is to be run at logged in? Okay, so we'll go to this and we can see this is a trigger that is at log on whenever someone is logging in, and the action is the start a program, something called this. Okay, So we'll try to copy this. No, I did right click, it's not working. So let's go to properties, and this is what it has to be started. So the path of this executable is what required. So let's see the properties of this. So trigger is something which has to be met so that the scheduled task, that is action, can be executed. So whenever the trigger is satisfied, every time the action will be triggered. Okay, so we are waiting for the properties to load, and now we can see this is general, where I can see the name and all. This is the trigger where I can see the conditions to be true to start the action. So if we click on edit, just to copy the details, nothing else. So there we go, we copy the complete path. Let's close it, try to give as less load as possible, and this is the path, and submit. Okay, there is another scheduled task related to VSS. Yes, we have seen. Now what is the shadow copy volume of that? A shadow copy volume ID of that. Okay, so we don't need this anymore, and this is a shadow copy related another scheduled task which runs. So when we can go to general, and we can see, okay, to see when it runs we can go to trigger, but for now the ID of this volume is ours. So we can simply copy this, and we are good. So if I go to trigger, we can see that it is scheduled every day, morning once and afternoon once. Okay, so we have copied the volume ID and paste it, submit. Now how to see all the list of volume IDs? With the commands that is given to us here, vss admin list volumes. You can try that. I don't want to run execute commands. I don't know how much time it is again going to take, so let's stick to the task, but overall we got the concept. Assign the hidden partition letter. Hidden partition a letter. What is the name of hidden folder? Okay, so partition, when we are talking about partition, it has something to do with disk management. So let's open that first, and then let's read the description. So we don't need this anymore. Let's close this, and yes, please close. And yeah, there is one more thing open, so let's close that as well. Give as less load as possible. Okay, and there is this icon, disk management. So I clicked on that. We'll wait for it to load. Okay, and so let's get back to our description meanwhile. So you can use disk management to check into that. Disk management is a system utility that enables you to perform advanced storage related tasks. As you can see, there is another volume. Okay, as you can see, there is another volume, but you are unable to view it in the Windows Explorer. Okay, let's go to over this, and I can see like after going to Windows Explorer, this PC. Open. Yeah, wait for it to load. Working on it. Okay, take your own time, we are in no hurry. So I can see only C drive, and going to the disk management I can see that there is a 1 GB unallocated and a C drive. So these things I cannot see here, right? So what is the ask? Yes, right click on the partition to view its properties. Now go to security tab. Okay, so this is something I can click on this backup, and I'll right click on this. We'll go to properties, and in the properties, what you want me to do? So in the properties, click on the security tab, confirm that the volume name ID is okay. Task is the one, the ID that is mentioned on the task scheduler. So we can verify, okay, this is that backup something. And VSS output is similar. Also notice there is a tab title shadow copies. Review the information and close the properties window. Okay, now in order to see this partition on the Windows Explorer, you must assign it a drive letter. Right click on the partition and select change drive. Oh, okay, and click add in the drop down. Okay, we'll go for this, and we can see like in the shadow copies. Shadow copies. Okay, there is some scheduled thing. I think this is what is referred in the task library. Now if we go to security, we see the object ID, and I think this is the same that we have seen in the task scheduler. So let's close this, and right click on the backup, change drive letters and path, and to view it in the Explorer we have to click on add and assign it some letter. Let's say H. Okay, Okay, we'll wait for some time, and then we should be able to see it here on the Windows Explorer. Okay, so it is taking some time. Meanwhile, let's go. Oh, okay, I can see now. Let's open this. And what is the ask here? Assign the hidden partition data. What is the name of the hidden folder? Okay, so let's open. Okay, H drive is working. Okay, we can see like we have already set the folder options or the explorer view options as to show me the hidden files as well. So I can see it's a confidential is the name of the hidden folder. So going back to this, the hidden folder name is confidential. Okay, now right click and inspect the properties for the hidden folder. Use the previous version tab to restore the encrypted files that is within the hidden folder. What is the password within the file? Okay, we just need to restore because the backup is already taken. So let's go back to confidential. Like we can go to previous version on the parent level or at the child level. Anyway, it will reflect it. So let's go back just to verify what is the file before and what is the file after. I can see master password txt.grinch. So let's right click on this and go to properties. So here what we are doing, we are trying to restore some content of this explorer to the previous version. Going back to security, no, the previous version, yes. In the previous version, okay, working on it, we just need to wait. Okay, there was some backup was taken by the scheduler already, so let's restore it. Okay, yes, I want to restore it. So as of now I can see there is some Grinch that is encrypted by the attacker. Okay, now there is some other the change in the context I can see. So let it complete the backup. Meanwhile, we can just go back here. Oh, okay, backup is completed, so we are good. Now we can see the password. So let's open this. Oh, no, yeah, only one file. Okay, it's opening. It's very slow, but they're trying to help us by teaching the concept, so we are with them, with the TryHackMe team. Thank you for this. Now, okay, it's not responding. We'll wait for some time, and there we go. So password is secure is the password. So let's copy this, go back to over this, and this is the content that we found in the backup. So basically the malware did not delete our backup, so we are safe here. So I think we are good with this lab, and that was all about some components and useful things to be done on every system, like automatic backups and all. So that was all about the Grinch strikes again. We have one last lab for this trick, followed by which we are going to see the summaries of everything, the playlist of network, the playlist of CV. So just hold on for that, and that's all for today. If you like my explanation, please do subscribe, click on notification bell, and share with the people who are interested in this. Anything silly, anything that you want to share, any scenario that you have come across in this lab or any other thing, or any good lab that you want to suggest, that please try this one as well, please do mention those as well. We'll definitely give it a shot and practice as much as possible. If you liked the explanation, or if you had any kind of suggestion or modification that you want in the explanation, just let me know in the comment section. And thank you.